everybody. So a lot of stuff to talk about to catch up with MultiVersus. I'm not going to be going over all the events and the new stage we got and all the new stuff that's been added over the last month or so, the winter event or the current Lunar New Year event that's going on right now. Maybe a little bit here and there if I have something to say about those things, but mostly I'm just going to focus on speculation for the future of the game and specifically character speculation. However, because there's so much I want to catch up on and talk about, I'm going to cut this into two different videos. This first video is going to focus on what happened with MultiVersus at the Game Awards, or rather what didn't happen. How I had heard a character reveal would happen there, but then we didn't get one. Part 2 will focus on the future characters we might get, speculating stuff like that, all the speculation, datamines, leaks, etc., all that good stuff. Before we get into all that though, quick disclaimer and potential spoiler warning. Everything I talk about in this video is just speculation. Nothing is certain about this game, no matter how definitive I talk about a leak or datamine or whatever. They are just rumors until officially confirmed. Rumors that we are just discussing for fun. But if any of this stuff does come true, well, here's your spoiler warning now. Okay, so I have a lot to say. Like I said, I'm going to split this up into two videos. Lots of stuff I have to talk about to catch us up with MultiVersus. So if some of this stuff is old news, just bear with me here. I just want to cover it all to just get it out of the way so we can continue forward with MultiVersus speculation. And I promise, even though some of the stuff I'm going to go over will be old news, especially this video mostly going over the Game Awards stuff, there will be good pieces of speculation sprinkled throughout these two videos. So if you're interested in the future of MultiVersus, definitely worth watching just to hear wherever I end up sprinkling in those bits of information that I've heard or bits of leaks or whatever. Alright, so it's now been well over a month since the Game Awards, and unfortunately, of course, what I said was going to happen there didn't happen there. We did not get a MultiVersus character reveal, so my apologies for that to anyone who watched solely because I said there'd be a reveal. If you were just watching the Game Awards only to see something MultiVersus and you didn't get that, I feel pretty bad about hyping it up. I am sorry about that. I truly did think it was a guaranteed thing. But I do still trust 100% that what I heard about MultiVersus was in fact true, even though it didn't actually happen at the Game Awards. I still believe when I was told something was going to get revealed at the Game Awards that that was in fact real information. So kind of similar to like when I heard Banjo was going to come to Smash, but I believed the Grinch leak because of it, and then the Grinch leak obviously didn't happen, but that piece of Banjo information was still real. Very similar here. I had heard a character was going to get revealed at the Game Awards, and they didn't, but I still think the character I heard and the fact they were supposed to get revealed at the Game Awards was still true. We have now seen some things that are lining up for the specific character that I heard was going to happen at the Game Awards, and some other characters that I had been saying I heard were coming soon as well too. So some vindication and redemption there for myself as this stuff is slowly coming out now. And I'll go over all the things that are lining up with the characters I heard in a little bit. Mostly probably going to be in the next video, honestly. I just hope that despite not getting a new character revealed at the Game Awards, you are all still on board that the information I heard that made me believe that was going to happen was not fake or false information. My real mistake here was assuming plans couldn't change. Specifically, I assumed the Game Awards being a big award show would mean that they would have everything in it locked down and totally planned out in full, well in advance, and that nothing could change. Seems I was wrong about that. In fact, here's a tweet from Jeff Keighley, and it implies things happening at the Game Awards were able to be changed around right up until the last minute. Sounds like he added something like the day before or whatever. So yeah, I guess things could change around, and I assume they couldn't. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the Game Awards itself for the lack of a MultiVersus reveal. I'm not saying they shifted things around and it just screwed it up. Simply explaining that because I had heard there were plans to get a character revealed at the Game Awards, I wrongfully assumed those plans could not change. And again, I was wrong about that. I'm sorry. My bad on that one. So now the question becomes, if the original plan was to have a MultiVersus character revealed there, why didn't we get a character reveal at the Game Awards? Well, for those of you who didn't stick around and watch my stream of the Game Awards, or don't follow me on Twitter or in my Discord server or anywhere else, I should probably tell you guys who exactly I had actually heard would be revealed at the Game Awards. I had heard that the Joker would be our next character and that he would be revealed at the Game Awards. I've actually seen what he looks like in MultiVersus, and I drew this picture of my recollection of him. I'll talk more about this picture and the Joker himself in a bit. Again, this is a drawing of my recollection of when I saw him, so he's probably going to look somewhat like this. Will he be the next character? I'd say probably. I think it's a good bet he'll be our next character, but I honestly don't know for sure. Even when I made the Game Awards speculation video, I mentioned how since we have in the past had characters get revealed, but then not get released until much later on, for example, characters such as Rick Sanchez, Stripe, and Black Adam being revealed before Gizmo got revealed, but releasing after Gizmo, I could not say for sure that the Joker would be the next character released. Just that I had heard plans for him to get revealed at the Game Awards. So with that in mind, someone else could potentially happen before the Joker, though I'd still say he's almost certainly within the next few characters, if not most likely the next character. Anyway, this was funny to me as obviously Joker was revealed at the Game Awards years ago for Super Smash Bros. Now, MultiVersus unfortunately has missed the opportunity to have their own Joker reveal at the Game Awards. Also, unfortunately, MultiVersus has missed a very big opportunity to advertise their game there. The Game Awards had a lot of viewers, especially this year, and MultiVersus is not doing so hot right now, unfortunately, and is certainly looking to get eyes back on the game these days. Now, MultiVersus did win Fighting Game of the Year. Tony was there and accepted the award, but we got no Joker character reveal. Nothing showcased to hook potential players into checking out the game, or for those who stop playing, get them to return to the game. A character reveal may have done just that. So, since I still believe what I had heard about a Joker character reveal happening at the Game Awards, 100%, I think that was totally true, why didn't the plans to reveal a character there actually end up happening? Why didn't that pan out? Something simply must have happened to change those initial plans of revealing the Joker there. It's now been like 2 months since our last character, Marvin the Martian, in mid-November at the start of Season 2. And before Marvin, we were getting characters like almost every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks anyway, and it's now been 2 months. This is a long gap, considering how often we were getting characters in those first few months. From what I've been hearing, MultiVersus development has been a bit chaotic. They don't seem to have a clear long-term schedule or pace or plan that they've fallen into yet. Or at least they hadn't at the time of the Game Awards. Maybe they've fixed things up by now. So maybe by the time the next character happens, potentially the Joker, they could be on a better pace or schedule or have some sort of parameters for what they're shooting for over the next year. There seems to be a lot of stuff they want to do eventually, but so far their focus has been able to change at a moment's notice. And clearly this last month or so had them more bogged down than those first few months. Hopefully this relatively slower pace that's been going on over the last couple months can be used to get a steady schedule of what they plan to do for the rest of the year. Get that all set. And I think anyone can clearly see the chaos behind the scenes planning out this game. With some of the Datamines stuff, we've basically seen that. The game has a ton of already recorded voice work for a lot of potential future characters. We had heard dialogue in the game's code for many characters well before the game was made public. But exactly when any of these characters we haven't gotten yet will actually get finalized is still uncertain. And from what I've been hearing, other characters who weren't in that initial Datamine lineup, characters that didn't have voice lines in the game before the game was made public, will likely happen before several of these Datamine ones. Also, during the Datamines for Season 1, we had seen Wicked Witch and Beetlejuice code showing up in those Datamines, making it seem like they were being worked on and being prepared to get released. Only for the Halloween season to come and go, and neither of those characters actually showed up. We've seen time and time again a character get announced with a release date, only for it to immediately get delayed. Usually only by a few days, so it's not like a big deal, but why even give us an exact release date if they aren't certain that the character is ready to get released on that date? The obvious answer is because they are finishing this stuff on the fly. This is being done kind of at the drop of a hat. There does not seem to be an organized release schedule, and the pacing and planning is just chaotic. Like I said, it's really erratic. My assumption here, considering how many characters were datamined before the game even went public, that we still haven't gotten, and how the pace has slowed down tremendously after Marvin, again, it's been like 2 months, I think they probably bit off more than they can chew. That saying might sum up pretty well what's going on with this game internally. And because of this, there's a chaotic game development schedule happening behind the scenes. It's very hard to say what will happen or when something will happen with any certainty for this game. So with that in mind, in the future, I will try to avoid definitives when talking about MultiVersus. Like saying a reveal will happen at the Game Awards. Again, my bad for that one. If they can delay a character right after announcing them, like when they give a release date and then the next day tell us, oh, just kidding, they're being released later, they can also shift gears on a dime in other ways too. And what's true about their future plans one day, like revealing a character at the Game Awards, might not be the plan that they're going with anymore the very next day. So anything I hear about this game from here on out, I'll just say it's what I'm hearing, not what's definitely going to happen. So take MultiVersus information, leaks and stuff, with the stipulation that this game's plans can and have changed around behind the scenes. Okay, and with all that said, I really do hope they've sat down and planned out the future of this game after these initial hurdles. This style of a game with seasons and battle passes and events that are, limited for a limited time or whatever, really need a solid, clear schedule and calendar and roadmap, and especially behind the scenes they need that so people can focus on what needs to get done and when they need to get it done by so things can release on schedule. I want this game to do well, I really do. I want this game to regain a strong player base. I want MultiVersus to be a popular, relevant platform fighter years from now. But missing out on revealing a character at a huge award show, especially when your game just won Fighting Game of the Year, is a marketing travesty. I don't know if I can stress enough how sad it is we didn't get that. And if they don't plan out a clear pace for the future, they're only setting themselves up to once again miss out on some key potential advertising opportunities in the future. Like what happened with the Game Awards, not getting a character reveal. I hope they can get this game on track. I really do. Alright, so now let's get specific. Why specifically did the plan to reveal the Joker at the Game Awards not pan out? If you trust my information that was indeed the plan. Well, number one is essentially what I just went over. Development for this game seems to be a bit chaotic and able to change at a moment's notice. And that extends to the marketing for this game. That's also been really erratic. We have had character reveals on Twitter, characters revealed in CGI trailers. Our last character was first officially revealed on the official website on a sort of random page people happened to check the first day of Season 2. And though we didn't hear about it on Twitter like we usually did till like a day or two later, it was a really weird way for us to find out the next character. So handling character reveals has simply not been done in a consistent manner. So far anyway. Again, kind of signaling that they don't have a clear schedule, a clear calendar, a clear roadmap of how this game is supposed to be happening. Alright, so beyond the erratic marketing, the next possible reason we didn't get a character reveal at the Game Awards is number 2, maybe the trailer for the next character simply wasn't finished in time. It's completely possible they just didn't have the trailer for the Joker ready in time to reveal the Joker at the Game Awards. On that note, though, I have now heard a vague description of what the Joker trailer will probably involve. Supposedly, it's pretty short, with Batman walking forward, other characters are falling back and being defeated, apparently Shaggy desperately crawls to reach his sandwich, and then at the end, the Joker emerges, I assume from like the shadows or smoke or something, and he says something to the effect of, "Time to play," or "Let's play," or "Playtime," something like that, and it's Mark Hamill's voice. I've also heard guild dungeons might show up with Joker, so if you're waiting on the guild dungeons, that might happen whenever the Joker happens. And that could be attached to his trailer as well, kind of like how Arcade showed up with Black Adam. But I can't promise it, though maybe getting guild dungeons ready is what slowed down this next character's release. Who knows for sure. Anyway, now that we are like 2 months since we got Marvin, and still no new character, still no Joker, probably the most likely possibility, in my opinion, for why we didn't get the reveal at the Game Awards is number 3. The Joker himself wasn't finished in time. Or the Joker was so behind schedule, they didn't want to reveal him too early and make us all wait for like 2 months or something. I think this is a highly likely possibility. However, it's also the one that's, in my opinion, the lamest or saddest, most unfortunate reason to have not done the reveal. As I still think revealing him at the Game Awards, even if they said it wouldn't be a while until we'd be able to play as him, is a horribly missed perfect opportunity for a great character reveal moment. Now, whenever the Joker's trailer happens, it'll be relegated to like a random tweet or something now, most likely. And I don't think you're going to get nearly the excitement and the gaming news headlines and the eyes back on your game a Game Awards character reveal would have caused. Hell, if they knew Joker wasn't going to be close to being ready, maybe the better option would have been to hold off on revealing and releasing Marvin a couple weeks and reveal him at the Game Awards instead. They definitely had the green light for a Game Awards reveal at one time when I heard about that, so blah. As a fan of this game and a fan who really wants this game to do well, it's really hard for me to get over how big of a misstep not having a character reveal at the Game Awards was for this game. I think the numbers right now kind of show that too. Maybe slowing down on releasing characters towards the start of this game and pacing them out like one a month would have been a better idea than trying to give us as many characters as quickly as possible and missing big opportunities like the Game Awards character reveal moment and not having characters for 2 months now. It just seems like they weren't really set up for a clear roadmap of how this game should happen, and they're now kind of paying for it with a lack of character reveals over what seems like a long period of time because of how quickly we were getting characters before. I know, I'm just hammering this home, but yeah, that's how I feel about this. Anyway, the next two possibilities are more speculative, but I have heard people speculating at the possibility of them, so I figured I'd mention them. If you recall, Christopher Judge's speech went on for a really long time at the Game Awards. So long, the theory is it might have eaten into the time for other things at the show. While his speech is historically lengthy, the longest speech ever in award show history, and that's not just the Game Awards I'm talking about any award show, his was the longest speech. I think this only caused other people to have to rush through their acceptance speeches and stuff, and the Game Awards probably ran later than initially expected. But I doubt it actually meant cutting out something like a character reveal or a game reveal moment or anything that was planned for the award show. I have to imagine contractually cutting something like that due to a longer than expected speech would be a nightmare. The parent company of whatever game got cut content from the award show would be pretty furious about that. In MultiVersus' case, Warner Brothers would not appreciate having a character reveal cut from the award show simply because somebody talked for too long. I don't think that would actually happen. Plus, given how long it's been since the Game Awards happened now, had the Joker reveal simply been cut for time, they'd likely have just dropped the trailer already by this point. So I highly doubt this is what happened. And then the final theory for what might have happened involves Kevin Conroy's tragic passing away shortly before the Game Awards. I don't want to harp on this one too long as it's speculation involving tragedy, and I never really like doing that, but I can see how Kevin unexpectedly passing away could have caused them to cut out a reveal for the Joker. I don't know everything the trailer entails, but if the Joker did something like, for instance, point a gun at Batman or anything of that nature in the trailer, it might have been seen as offensive or in bad taste, and they decided not to show it off. Also, we did get that Suicide Squad reveal with Kevin Conroy voicing Batman for the last time in that game. So maybe Warner Brothers simply thought that was the better tribute to Kevin Conroy's Batman, and didn't want to water down the reveal of the Suicide Squad Batman voice with a MultiVersus reveal for the Joker. Whether his voice is heard in the Joker trailer or not, it is still, of course, his Batman that's in MultiVersus. Something like this is easily the most forgivable and understandable reason to have not done the Joker reveal at the Game Awards. Mark Hamill has now said he won't reprise the Joker role, as he's lost his Batman with Kevin's passing. I'm unsure if it means that the Joker lines he already recorded for MultiVersus will still be happening, or if they might have to scrap them and get someone else for the role now. I really do hope they get to keep the lines Mark Hamill has already recorded for the Joker, and MultiVersus can be the last game where Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, their Batman and their Joker, that would be a really touching thing to have happen as a final way for those two characters to interact and have it be in MultiVersus. Whether Mark Hamill's voice lines do get used for the Joker now or not, or if they record someone else now, we are well over a month since the Game Awards and still no Joker reveal. So I have to assume at this point the most likely reason it wasn't at the Game Awards has more to do with the Joker character simply not being ready in time for the game, rather than any other theoretical reasons as to why it didn't happen. I think they're probably just behind schedule. The character isn't finished, wasn't ready in time, anything to that extent. Will the Joker be next? Will we get the Joker soon? Are we going to have to wait until February now? Will we get him in January here? Is it going to be before Season 2 ends? Is Season 2 only going to have Marvin the Martian? Is it going to be right at the end of Season 2 in like mid-February? Who knows for sure. All right, well, the one thing I can do to kind of make up for us not getting a Joker reveal trailer at the Game Awards, despite me being the one who was hyping that up, well, I drew my recollection of what the Joker will look like. Here it is again, and it is just my recollections. This is just how I remember him looking for the brief time I was able to look at him. The color scheme looked something like this, with the kind of pinkish purple, though I'm not sure what it'll look like with, specific lighting on him. He did have a flower on his coat. He looked more or less like the Batman the Animated Series Joker in the face. I don't know if I can draw him super, super well, but that is what he looked like the Batman animated series face. He had the high-heeled shoes, kind of like he does in the animated series, and he had an orange undercoat with a blue tie. So, again, maybe they'll change something about him. I don't know if they'd update from the time that I saw him, but this is basically what he looked like. That is a glove on his hand, even though he does have white skin. That is a glove on his hand. His hair was very much so combed back and spiky, and he kind of had, I think his ears were slightly spiked on the tips too. Long nose, long chin, big grin. It was, again, the Batman the Animated Series Joker was what he looked like in the face. The most unique thing about his design was that his sleeves appeared to be stitched onto the coat at the shoulders. That was the thing that stuck out to me as something I don't think I've ever seen in a Joker design. I know the Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight, I think he talks about his clothes is all custom made or whatever. So I think that maybe is a cool nod to that, unless I'm missing something in Joker lore, Batman lore, that has him with stitched on sleeves from the comics or something. I've never seen that myself, if that is a thing. They could potentially tweak or update his design before we actually get him. So I don't know, but this is what I saw. So if it turns out to look like this or something very, very close to this, there you go. This is what I believe the Joker will look like from what I saw of him. Now, don't expect drawings like this to be a regular thing from me. I have no plans to draw other characters down the line or something if I see anyone else for this game. This is basically just me saving face to prove my information wasn't false. Although, again, who knows what alterations they could make to the character model at this point. And in fact, for the record, I was trying to be coy and not actually leak who exactly I heard was coming at the Game Awards. But again, now I sort of gotta save face a bit with the Game Awards reveal not coming to fruition, trying to prove that what I heard wasn't total nonsense. Frankly, though, I'd rather go back to just hinting at possible characters and sprinkle in actual leaked information I've heard about among just general speculation. Help us stay on track speculation-wise with who we should probably be expecting without straight up giving away everything that's going to happen. I just personally think that's more fun, healthier speculation for the whole scene, in my opinion anyway. So while I am going to show my hand and lay out who I've been hearing might be happening relatively soon between this video and the next one I make, as we get further into the next few characters, however long it takes to get the next few characters actually released, even if I hear who's coming out down the line, don't expect me to continue to be specific and say who I've heard, or especially not something like draw them or something like that. Rather, I'd like to go back to just speculating and maybe dropping a hint towards who I've been hearing about that they might be next. And among those are the characters I've actually been hearing about. That was basically what I kind of did in my last video. I talked about how we'd get a character at the Game Awards, which didn't happen. Then I had to tell you who it was going to be, the Joker. But before I was just saying it was a character that was already datamined. Then I said we'd get non-datamined characters pretty soon. I said I think a female rep is going to happen soon. And I said Samurai Jack was happening for sure. So yeah, I do think within the next few characters it's probably going to be Joker. I think the female character is probably Marceline. That's kind of come out publicly slightly from Tony, but I was saying it before that. And I do think that Samurai Jack is the fan-requested character that's going to happen fairly soon too. Are those the next three characters in that order? I don't know. There's some other possibilities. Again, next video, I'll talk more about what I've heard, what I think is probably going to happen, but after that, I'm going to get a little less specific about what I've been hearing, and as we go forward, if things change around or whatever, I'll just hint at stuff. I'm not going to straight up lay out exactly who I've been hearing about in the future. And like I've been saying throughout this video, this game is honestly just too chaotic behind the scenes anyway for me to do that. I don't want to hype people up again, only to have disappointment with either delays to a character that they were planning to happen soon that I'd heard about, or they end up shelving a character for later. With things like that being very possible, sharing what I've heard isn't really all too helpful anyway, at least not helpful in pinning down exactly who or when these characters will be happening. So again, I think just hinting at stuff is probably the better way to do this. You'll still hear about the characters that we could be getting soon from anything I talk about, but they're going to be less specifically who exactly we're going to get in some exact order or whatever. I don't think there is an exact order anyway. And speaking of not having an exact order, once again, I don't know when we'll see the Joker. I assume he's still likely next and probably will happen before the end of Season 2, but I can't promise anything on that front, as there are other possibilities that could happen. We very easily could instead get like Beetlejuice or the Wicked Witch or something. That is if the devs continued to work on them or how far along they were with them back in like October, and they decide not to save them for next Halloween or something and just drop them soon because Joker's taking so long. Personally, I assume those characters are going to be shelved until later on, but they could just happen or something. It's possible. Again, I'd bet on the Joker, but I don't know for sure. It's also possible, given how much fanfare they gave to the Man in Black, the movie Black Adam skin based on The Rock, that alt costume. They released that last month. We could get something like that again and have it be treated almost like the next character or a new character. Maybe there will be some other costume they think is a pretty big deal, and they'll just give a lot of fanfare to that before the Joker ends up actually releasing. Nubia, for instance, has always been an oddity from the Datamines. Is she a costume? Is she her own character? We simply don't really know. And something like that could be given the sort of limelight and publicity they gave the Man in Black, Black Adam costume. If they really can't get a full-fledged character finished very soon, I could see them doing something like that, like before the end of this month, if the Joker really is February. Or maybe they'll do it in February and Joker will be Season 3 because they couldn't get a new character out in time for Season 2. They only have Marvin at the beginning. They wanted to get something out to us. They gave us the Man in Black costume and maybe some other big deal costume or something like that. I don't know. So while I still, again, do think the Joker is most likely the next character, and at least should happen within the next few characters, it'd be really odd if he doesn't. If some odd change of plans happens and he isn't the next character because he isn't finished yet or something, well, I have no control over that. But my opinion is he's probably next from what I've been hearing, and he should probably look at least somewhat like the drawing I drew. If not exactly like the drawing I drew, if they don't change anything about him. And it is pretty unfortunate that we had to go this long without a new character, especially not getting the Joker, because the Joker certainly would have fit really well as a Christmas or December released character. With Beetlejuice and the Wicked Witch not happening in October, it's not the first time they've missed a good opportunity to have a character release in a certain month. But the Joker's been involved in Christmas-themed Batman stuff pretty often, at least from the Batman stuff I've been exposed to. My favorite Batman comic, The Long Halloween, has a Christmas-themed Joker in it. So it would have been cool to get him around Christmas time, but oh well. Instead, for Christmas last month, we got the MultiVersus event. And with that event, we also got a bunch of new Datamine information. I will say that with the newest event, this lunar event that we just got, nothing of note seems to have been datamined after that event happened. So potentially the MultiVersus team might have tightened up their defenses, their security on the datamine front. Usually every time a new event or a new update would happen, we'd get lots and lots of datamined info. I'm unsure if that will continue to happen after each big update now. Maybe this lunar event is an indication that those days are over since nothing really has been datamined from it. There's a real lack of datamine on this event. Anyway, the MultiVersus event did have a lot of datamine information. You may have seen a bunch of it over on Twitter and other places, but I will save going over all of that datamine stuff for the next video. And in that next video, I'll be talking about where I think MultiVersus is headed character-wise. The characters I've been hearing about, characters I think will probably happen soonish. I'll give like a, general roadmap for the characters I've been hearing, what I think or who I think we'll probably see within the next handful of characters. So next video, that's going to be more of that stuff, more leaked and data-mined information. This video was more just talking about the Game Awards and what might have happened with that. I'm going to start working on part 2 immediately, so it should be out very, very soon. Link in the description below once it is out. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will be covering a lot of other stuff in the second half of this video, so if that video is out and you have anything to say, potentially it will get covered in the next video. But if you have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you in part 2.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to Papa Gino's
Twitter, Patreon, Discord, Twitch.